and we can't lose. We can't die. We're the team of destiny.
Each week on this video, we'll talk NFL Survivor Pool strategy, picks, tips. Chris Liss, this was the first week. A big chunk of the iceberg fell off.
It was a beautiful thing. The Bengals were probably the best team we had on the board, and I was leaning toward the Bengals. They were 11-point favorites. The Chiefs were 9.5, 10, and they're playing my Giants. So I really didn't want to take the Chiefs because I didn't want to get knocked out by my own team. I didn't want to root against my own team. But the Giants aren't going to the playoffs, and they're missing Barkley and some key guys. So I don't really care if the Giants lose a game. Like, it's not, it's not important. But it's still, I always root for them.
It's actually helpful. You get an extra.
It's helpful, but you root for your team. You want your players to do well, the guys that you're attached to. Only like 46% took Cincy and 38% took KC, and I was like, oh, we screwed up. We didn't get enough pot odds for our bet. But Dalton liked them straight up better, and which I did not think. I thought the Jets with Mike White, no way. And I even made a joke about it. I knew they could lose, but I made a joke about it just to jinx them. And I caused this, by the way, and people don't realize that I caused the Jets to lose. I mean, the Bengals to lose, because I said there was a 0% chance on Twitter, knowing some like old takes exposed, Nutless Monkey was going to grab that.
Hot takes exposed. Yeah. Got you. They got you.
And I knew somebody was going to CC them and do that, but it was worth it.
All right, so in most pools, half of your pool is out. Now it's time to get serious. You've probably lasted a lot longer than you have in past survivors. So this is where the pressure starts to mount, that the collar starts to tighten a little bit. How do we play it here? Talk us through what the best picks are and go a little bit deeper in some of the options, because people have used a lot of the good teams in week 9.
Right. The obvious is the Bills in Jacksonville. I mean, I think it's a look-ahead game, but even so, the Bills are going to win. But most people have used the Bills, so that's just number one. But if you don't have the Bills, fine. My number 2 is the Colts. We use the Colts, but I think at Thursday night, Jets off that big win, I think it's a good spot for Indy. I just think they're kind of desperate. They need to win to even just stay alive remotely. And the Jets, they're not going to overlook the Jets because they need this win so bad. And the Jets are kind of flying high. They believe in Mike White. It's a good story, but I think Indy's going to roll.
And the Colts also probably think now that they have a chance to catch up now that Derrick Henry is out for the year. So that might also play into, they don't need much motivation as professional athletes, but it does play into the narrative. What do you got if you can't use the Colts? If you've already not used the Bills, are the Dallas Cowboys a live play this week?
Yeah, I think they're 3, obviously, if Dak plays. Now, the scary thing is that Dak had this calf injury, and he was supposed to play last week, and then he just couldn't do it. And he looked normal in warm-ups if you saw him like doing his stretches and whatever. So something wasn't right. And how do we know it's going to be right this week? And if it is right this week, how do we know he's going to not take one quick, dart to the left in the pocket and all of a sudden have to walk out of the game? So this is a little scary. The Broncos defense is pretty good. They're not a doormat that they're playing, so they need Dak here. This is, Cooper Rush looked pretty good last week, but this is, you don't want to mess with that. So this is only if Dak plays, but just realize that if Dak plays, there's still a risk of re-injury. So Dallas, we'll see with the Dak situation. So number 4, which we may use, the Dolphins are the other one. They're one of my best bets against the spread too. I'm a little nervous if Tyrod Taylor plays, and he might, although he wasn't ready last week. The Dolphins are just like the Eagles were last week going to Detroit. Detroit's this, total crap garbage team. And people are like, oh, they've played some teams tough. Why are the Eagles laying 3.5 on the road? Well, the reason they're laying 3.5 on the road is because the Eagles are not a doormat, and they've been beaten up so much. When they face a real doormat, they need to destroy that doormat. They're not going to have a look-ahead game when you're 2-6 or 1-7 like the Dolphins. They're going to be like, oh, it's the Texans. Let's just bring our C game. For them, it's like, we need to win a game.
And more anecdotally as well is that the Dolphins are not trying to tank. Not that football players ever try to tank, but they don't even own their first-round pick. Philly owns their first-round pick. Right. So if anything, they're going to be motivated to win, to justify giving away that first-round pick for Jalen Waddle. All right, if you're still in your survivor pool, what you need to do is click the link in the video description below. You want to read Chris Liss's survivor column each week. Whether you go with his picks or you not, it has great strategy. It plays out all of the math and the pot odds between all the picks. So go to rotowire.com/try for a free 10-day trial.